evening, everyone. I'm Monica Corday, and as your host and the Poet Laureate of Belmont, I welcome you all to this beautiful evening of our multicultural holiday poetry celebration. I'd like to begin by honoring the people of this land and acknowledge that Belmont is located on the unceded ancestral homeland of the Ramayatush Ohlone people, who are the original inhabitants of the San Francisco Peninsula. Indigenous communities have lived in and moved through this land over hundreds of generations, and indigenous peoples from many nations make their home in this region today. Please join me in recognizing and honoring their ancestors, descendants, elders, and their communities. I'm also thankful to each of you for being here tonight. These past couple of years have been difficult for us in different ways while living in a pandemic. But we have also been fortunate in finding time to heal, to meet and embrace loved ones, and to pause and reconnect with ourselves. This forced slowing of life granted by the pandemic has allowed us to look inwards, bodily, mentally, and spiritually. I feel most fortunate today, and although it may not be visible to you, please know that behind my face covering, I'm smiling with joy, with contentment, and with immense gratefulness for every moment past and for this day of celebration that brings us together. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you can hear me all right with my mask on. This evening, I promise to get you into the spirit of the holiday season with diverse poetic offerings from our special guests, featured community members, and poets. The mere thought of holidays lights up our faces and our homes. Traditions, festivals can serve as a way to center us, provide a sense of calm in our busy lives, and they help us to bond together, connect us to previous generations, and give us much needed comfort during times of struggle. Light, hope, gratitude, peace, and joy. These are at the heart of all seasonal celebrations and religious festivals across cultures, especially through the holiday months of November and December. The beauty and reflection these holidays offer will also be part of our multicultural readings tonight. Our featured poets will offer original poems as well as seasonal poems from a curated list I have put together for this occasion. Today, we truly hope to celebrate culture through the gift of poetry. With that, I'd now like to invite our featured artist for tonight, Purvi Jezulkar, to join me on stage. Let me share about Purvi. Purvi Jezulkar is an Indian classical dancer and artistic director of Pagrav Dance Studio, located in San Mateo. She has a bachelor's degree in Bharatanatyam, dance style. She and her students perform frequently at various libraries, county fairs, local events, and festivals in the Bay Area. Her passion for dancing has led to community building, teaching, choreographing, and fitness. For this opening performance, Purvi will first present Pushpanjali, which is literally translated as offering of flowers. In this case, there is an offering of light as well, to be symbolic, and a prayer dance, after which together we will perform a poetry and dance duet. Please welcome Purvi. Before you begin, if you'd like to share a few words about your dance.
Sure. Thank you for the great introduction and welcoming me on this beautiful occasion. So, as Monica said, the dance style that I'm going to show you and showcase a little bit of how it's done and some of the hand gestures and foot movement you'll see This dance actually dates back about 2,000 years ago. And it's preserved in sculptures in India, because there was no YouTube or drawing at the time. Because of all the sculptures that you see in the temples, this dance form kind of carried through the modern times. It is one of the more popular dances in India. If you were to draw a comparison, more like ballet, very formal and very symmetric. Like she said, I'm going to start with a song called titled Pushpanjali, Offering of Flowers. It's generally done in the beginning of the dance performance. It's like an invocation dance. The speaker is right by you, and hopefully it's not too loud. Behind the mask, I'm smiling, and all expressions are kind of discounted because of the face, obviously. But this dance style does have a lot of eye projection, so hopefully I can compensate for it. The next song is a prayer dance called Mejia, which is performed is offering a prayer to Lord Shiva, who is the god of dance, generally. That's the dance style is all these movements. So hopefully you will enjoy this really soft piece. It is a little hard when you're dancing and okay.
Thank you so much for you. That was simply stunning. And just to add to that, the connection, the language that you hear in that song is Marathi. It belongs to the region of Maharashtra in India, the state of Maharashtra. And I've grown up listening to this song. It's a very, very old song. It was a beautiful performance on that. Thank you. And now I will be reading a poem on which Urmi will be performing the Bharatanatyam as well. This poem is translated from the original poem in Bengali language. It belongs to another part of India, which is West Bengal. And in Bengali, the poem is named as Himer Rate Oi Gogoner. On a cool frosty night by Rabindranath Tagore. Early winter spreads her misty waves over midnight stars. And the call comes from the deep. Man, bring out your lamp. The forests are bare of flowers. The birds have ceased to sing. The riverside grass has shed its blossoms. Come, Dipali, waken hidden flames out of the desolate dark and offer symphony of praise to eternal light. The stars are dimmed, the night is disconsolate, and the call comes from the deep. Man, bring out your lamp. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you very much. So this poem by Rabindranath Tagore was in the theme of Diwali, the festival of lights that is celebrated in India, in many regions and all over the world now. And it's so beautiful that there is always this common theme that connects all of us, where we are talking about light and darkness, and that's what the poem is evoking, the rekindling of light within ourselves. Thank you, Purvi, again. Simply remarkable. The grace and melody we experienced through your dance was so rejuvenating. I'm sure everyone would agree. Now, as special guests for this evening, it is my absolute pleasure and honor to have with us Belmont Mayor Charles Stone and Councilmember Davina. Thank you so much, both of you, for your time and joining us for this festive gathering. Mayor Stone, I'd like to welcome you first to please offer us a few words and also open our holiday poetry readings by presenting a seasonal favorite.
Never follow a comedian, a kid, or those two. That's bad news all the way. Well, happy holidays, everyone. It's so nice to be here in person again at this wonderful event that we thought was going to be an annual tradition right up until last year. The biggest scrimmage I'd ever met, COVID-19, stole it away from us. But thanks to our Parks and Rec department and Monica, here we are again, all together to bask in the warm glow of the Belmont family and our holiday tradition. I chose a poem and didn't tell Monica, and I'm behind on my emails pretty much all the time at this point. And I showed her the poem that I chose to read, and it turned out that it was the poem she chose for me to read as well. So clearly it was meant to be. So I'm going to read Holidays by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. The holiest of all holidays are those kept by ourselves in silence and apart. The secret anniversaries of the heart, when the full river of feeling overflows. The happy days, unclouded to their close. The sudden joys that out of darkness start. As flames from ashes, swift desires that dart. Like swallows, singing down each wind that blows. White as the gleam of a receding sail. White as a cloud that floats and fades in the air. White as the whitest lily on a string. Those tender memories are a fairy tale of some enchanted land we know not where, but lovely as a landscape in a dream.
Oh, thank you so much. All right. Well, happy holidays, everyone. It's so great to kind of be out of our caves and be with community, right? Art and culture is so vital to bring us together. And so I'm thankful for Walford having a chance here to speak with all of you and of course read this wonderful, beautiful poem. And I have to say, I was at the National African American Museum in DC not too long ago. And I had the opportunity to see a little bit of Langston Hughes's work. That's not who I'm here to read, but I just wanted to throw out a little line that he had on a Christmas card he sent to folks. It was hard times, kind of like now. And it made me think about how just the littlest things people can do. If times were not so doggone hard, I might send you a gift. But since I'm broke as broke can be, there's just a Christmas lift. Merry, Merry Christmas to all of you. Happy holidays. That was Langston Hughes' Christmas card. For a really hard time. But I'm here before you all to read Joy of Heart Journal. Perhaps the world ends here. The world begins at a kitchen table. No matter what, you must eat to live. The gifts of earth are brought and prepared, set on the table. So it has been since creation, and it will go on. We chase chickens or dogs away from it. Babies teed on the corners. They scrape their knees under it. It is here that children are given instructions on what it means to be human. We make men at it. We make women. At this table, we gossip, recall enemies and the ghosts of lovers. Our dreams drink coffee with us as they put their arms around our children. They laugh with us at our poor, falling down selves as we put ourselves back together once again at the table. This table has been a house in the rain, an umbrella in the sun. Wars have begun and ended at this table. It's a place to hide in the shadow of terror, a place to celebrate the terrible victory. We've given birth on this table and have prepared our parents for burial here. At this table, we sing with joy, sorrow. We pray of suffering and remorse. We give thanks. Perhaps the world will end at the kitchen table while we are laughing and crying, eating of the last sweet bite. Doesn't know Joy Harjo. She's the 2019 U.S. Poet Laureate. She was the first Native American from the Creek Indian Nation, poet, musician, playwright, and the amazing poem that I really like of hers is called Remember. So if you want to learn more, hear more, that would be a good place to go. Happy holidays.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Davina, and thank you so much, Mayor Stone. Those were beautiful recitations of both the poems. I'm so grateful. And now I'd like to begin with our featured readings for tonight. Joining us are amazing featured poets from our community and presenters from our community who would be sharing some of their own poems as well as the ones from the selected ones. The first featured poet I'd like to welcome is Hilary Cruz Mejia. Let me share. Hilary Cruz Mejia is a poeta, radical, immigrant, lesbian, and activist from the coastal waters of Guatemala. Her work has appeared online in several magazines in English and Spanish. Please welcome Hilary.
Hi everyone. So I'm not gonna be reading one of my poems today, but I have the honor to read a poem by Yusuf Komunyakaa called Dia de los Muertos. First of all, I'm happy to be here while I was sitting here and seeing you dance. I felt something and I cannot explain it. So I was thinking of a poem to write right now, but I felt I didn't feel it was gonna be alright to take my phone and type. So I can't. But I started to think, and this is what I have so far, to remember the smiles that we can no longer hold in our hands, those smiles that we can only carry in our brains. The dinner tables in the laps of my grandma. She's still here, but far away, to remember. That's just. Con our Yusuf as Julia de los Muertos. Terra Corta, shrines for loved ones who died to purchase. We rehearse their taunts and display their favorite colors in a labyrinth of winding rooms. Through inner sancta, where Baroque, Gaigoles open their eyes to scare away. Plaster of Paris and paper mat dusted with glitter. We season the Last Supper with salt brushed from bodies, temporal and unreliable as amaranth. Ascending the Mission District, Halloween skeletons earn the weight of ivory and facade, resting like some beautiful accident on a dice mark maker's workbench.
I wish peace to your grandmother and much love to you. And maybe after tonight, you will be inspired to pen something down. My next featured poet is Philip Brent Harris. Philip is a transplanted Midwesterner by way of the East Coast, has lived in the San Francisco Bay Area for over half a century. He has studied screenwriting, is engaged with the fine arts, and is also a digital artist and occasional photographer. His poetry appears online in anthologies, as well as on his website, The Pen's Might. Philip is one of our dear and dedicated poets at the Belmont Poetry Night Open Mic, and we always look forward to hear him. So please welcome Philip.
Echoing Hilary, I at some point got my pen out of my pocket because I don't type straight into my phone generally when I write. I write from longhand first. It's an honor to be here, and I think maybe the catchphrase for the night is behind my mask, I'm smiling. So the first poem I'm going to read is by Sonia Dixon. It's a poem of unity from Kwanzaa Day 1. Here we are on distant shores, searching for loved ones gone, knowing their pain and suffering was an ocean of lost love. Can't you see the sun is shining, bringing energies of love all? Come, my people, unite together. Wake up, stand up. Be the love for all. The bells are ringing. It is time to answer the call of one. Get together, my brothers and sisters. It's time you must unite as one. Unite, unite. It's time. It's time. You must unite as one. Hold together, brothers and sisters. It's time to unite as one. So for my own poem, looking through, trying to find what I was going to read tonight, one of the things that goes through my poetry is the fact that there really is no separation between any of us or anything that we're involved with. And so there's sometimes some dark notes, but that's kind of my message. So this is called The Glorious Fires of All Creation. I yearn not for truth alone. It surrounds me ever and always, each breath and every moment. I refuse to imagine gods to bear my pain. shoulder my burdens during my brief moments of flesh, this illusion of being alone. How can I ever be alone, warmed as the sun, within clouds washed through with rain, spread across the night sky, shining the stars, all matter. No matter the terms I use, animate, inanimate, God, labels we use to describe what we do not apprehend, comprehend, all sing truth, sing me. I am blessed with creation, I am cursed with creation. As all creation needs food, water, air, I require expression. Yet how do I compare? I am not cold without warmth, hungry without food, dry without drink. I have shelter, body and mind. I love and am loved. Still, my temporary carapace ages, no matter what I have or choose. Creation in which all abides within all existence, speaks the whole world's desire to manifest through us, to remind us to remain humble, realizing that should I be able to name every part, each particular element, I will not know the whole. I will but admit my need. I have walked down streets, past homeless wrecks, and turned my face away more than once. I am saddened to admit I will do so again, unequal to bear witness, offer succor, or sanctity. I reject myself. I will struggle on, dig deep, clear the debris from my life. Let shine the bold self of my youth, sometimes foolhardy, never afraid. I will forge ahead, foraging in virgin earth, gather kindling to build a fire to warm those near me. I will water life with my tears, both of sorrow and of joy. I will blow away the dust which obscures my heart, scrape away the false space that I have stood behind. I will raise my eyes so that others may see. I will share my truth, my beauty, my being, till spirit speaks to spirit, sparks rise from the whole. Give us a brief glimpse of the glorious fires of all creation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Phil. Reading for us next is Megan Brown. Originally from New Orleans, Megan Duffy Brown is a poet, editor, and writing tutor living in coastal San Mateo County now. She would like to wish all of you the holiday solace she's been enjoying in these days. Welcome, Megan.
Thank you so much. It is such a pleasure to hear everyone's voices in person and actually to hear your applause. Yeah. I'm going to read to you first my poem called Life at the Center, inspired by Jose Castro's Middle Field mural. Power is out across the bay. You have heard this. Buildings of coal rise at water's edge, stark, antagonizing soft. In North Fair Oaks, a pink rose of grace springs forth, popping golden sun from a book. Better get with art, science, math, technology. All the children here get steamed, but the train that takes you to your engineering job stops a mile out of town. This is history. Visitors expect an education. Water that feeds your well runs beneath these streets. Into an open hand, an apple will fall. will reveal its fruit and seed. You might need the same thing as history, as the struggling urban storm, a young girl learning to read, those waiting for rain. At the edge of darkness, you can always climb a tree. You awaken on a busy day at the center of town. This is Season of Skinny Candles by Marge, Piercy. A row of tall, skinny candles burns quickly into the night air. The shames raised over the rest for its hard work. Darkness rushes in after the sun sinks like a bright plug full. Our eyes drown in night, thick as ink pudding. When even the moon starves to a sliver of quicksilver, the little candles poke holes in the darkness. A time to eat fat and oil, a time to gamble for pennies and gamble. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Megan. And now I'd like to welcome my next presenter for tonight. She is a Belmont community member, Susana Laborde-Blaj. Susana was born in Mexico. She is a professional dancer and internationally certified yoga therapist and offers yoga classes from her home and studio in Belmont. She carries poetry in her heart and often connects poetry and yoga in her practice. Welcome, Susana.
Thank you so much, Constance. Thank you. Oh, it's really an honor to be here. I'm going to read first the English translation of a poem called, is it my voice okay? It's called Theory of Good Wishes by Hamlet, Lima, Quintana. And then I will read it in Spanish. And I know some people will understand Spanish. That you do not lack time to eat with friends, split the bread, recognize yourself in the looks. I wish the night it transforms you into music, and the table in the long sound of bells. Let nothing deviate you. Let nothing disturb you. May you always have something from today to tomorrow, and that you know how to give, to water the plants, to cut the firewood, to light the fire, to win the fight, so that you have peace. So that you have peace. What is a serious task that I have imposed on myself tonight, my brother? Teoría de los buenos deseos, de Hamlet y Quintana. Que no te falte tiempo para comer con los amigos, partir el pan, reconocerse en las miradas. Deseo que la noche se te transforme en música y la mesa en un largo sonido de campanas. Que nada te desvíe, que nada te disturbe, que siempre tengas algo de hoy para mañana. Y que lo sepas dar, para regar las plantas, para cortar la leña, para encender el fuego, para ganar la lucha, para que tengas paz. Que es la grave tarea que me he impuesto esta noche, hermano mío.
Beautiful thing to hear that it's language every time, right? Something connects really to your soul. especially I love the melody that languages carry across. Okay. So, our next featured poet is Eric Craig Sapp. Eric is a lawyer, researcher on the history of the philosophy of history, and occasional translator of words. A house cat takes care of him. Eric is also one of our most amazing and dedicated poets, reading at the Belmont Poetry Night open mic. And most people would know him by his stage name, Disclaimer. Welcome, Eric.
Thank you. It's a great honor to be able to be here amongst all this marvelous visual art and dancing and poetry. So I'm going to read the curated poem first, and then I'll read an original poem. This first piece is "When Giving Is All We Have" by Alberto Ríos. It begins with an epigraph. One river gives its journey to the next. We give because someone gave to us. We give because nobody gave to us. We give because giving has changed us. We give because giving could have changed us. We have been better for it. We have been wounded by it. Giving has many faces. It is loud and quiet, big though small, diamond in wood nails. Its story is old, the plot worn, and the pages too. But we read this book anyway, over and again. Giving is, first and every time, hand to hand, mine to yours, yours to mine. You gave me blue and I gave you yellow. Together we are simple green. You gave me what you did not have, and I gave you what I had to give. Together we made something greater from the difference. That was Alberto Ríos. This next poem is called "An Unsound Dissertation on Astrology." 1. The better part of a year after Saturn again sought to devour his sun only to bite stone. Jupiter now rises higher and brighter there, nights after armed Orion with angled hips, pursued across night glades, forests of cloud, a beaver moon whose wound wound up bleeding nearly to eclipse. A yellow-green Romanesco is fractal time, chopped, oiled, salted, and roasted by memory. The living's challenging mystery, to replace a complacent with an illumined ignorance. Then, after emotionally rich investment, lies an earthly path of renewed detachment. 2. Once you've heard the soft sighing of the goddess from up close, once you've tasted her neck and nectar, once you've seen her in late November civil dawn, both hands placed together in perfect prayer, forming a pillow beneath her left cheek, closed eyes, lashes awaiting daylight like black daisies. You will not forget the fusion of love and losing. You will not forget that carnation she decided to call magenta, or when you do, the lesson shall have been learned. Try as you might, you'll not convince the forlorn passerby to enjoy the novelty of onion donuts, expecting rose persimmon. 3. Apologize not for being unsuccessful. Add kale to round out with benign bitterness, the turnip sour from vinegar and sweetened with raw sugar and salted by loneliness. Somebody was bound to say it would remind of something their deceased grandmother often brined. Even now, are not the drought dismayed hills of Edgewood greening themselves in festive reverence for rain? Cool, thick air overhovers the creek like an unseen dragonfly, surprising amidst eddies of sun. What you did see among flora lingering was a hummingbird suddenly iridescent.
Thank you so much, Eric. And To close our featured readings for tonight, I have great delight in welcoming Jacki Rigoni, Belmont Poet Laureate Emerita. She needs no further introduction, but I just add that she is the author of 7 Spurs, her debut poetry collection. And if you walk around our Belmont neighborhood, you can also find her poetry on permanent public art installations. Jacki, please.
Thank you, Monica. Nothing can give me more pleasure than to see you shine your light here in our communities. Thank you. It's great to pass the baton on and see you just fly. We're so lucky to have Monica here. We're really lucky to have Mayor Stone, Councilmember Hurt supporting the arts in our community, which you may not know this, but Belmont is one of the few cities in San Mateo County that actually has a poet laureate program. I also want to thank Bridget Shear from Parks and Rec and the entire Parks and Rec team for also supporting making this beautiful space and always being there for poetry. And last but not least, I am crying behind my mask, and most of you know when I read poetry, I get very emotional. Mostly because I am so happy to see you all in 3D, this beloved poetry community. I will read the first poem tonight from my book. It's called Sonoma Regional Wilderness Offers Lessons in Letting Go of What I Thought My Life Would Look Like. And this was written on or near the solstice. A woodpecker tidies acorns in his tree trunk pantry, stunting forests that might have been. Still, the never-to-be trees keep their place in our riparian conversation. Everywhere along this muddy path, the dead of winter is alive with acceptance. Through organza mist curtains, toy on berries say, well, here is red. In the greenlessness, turkey tail mushrooms say, here is the expansiveness of brown. Roots and rocks say, here is our place. At the exact point, a creek says, here is no struggle at all. And tumbles a different curve. In these woods, no straight lines. Everything built to change course. Even the shortest day says here is where we head again toward light. From a favorite poet, Naomi Shihab. It's called Yellow Glove. What can a yellow glove mean in a world of motor cars and governments? I was small, like everyone. Life was a string of precautions. Don't kiss the squirrel before you bury him. Don't suck candy, pop balloons, drop watermelons, watch TV. When the new gloves appeared one Christmas, tucked in soft tissue, I heard it trail me, don't lose the yellow gloves. I was small, there was too much to remember. One day, waving at a stream, the ice had cracked, winter chipping down. Soon we would sail boats and roll into ditches. I let a glove go into the stream, sucked under the street. Since when did streets have mouths? I walked home on a desperate road. Gloves cost money. We didn't have much. I would tell no one. I would wear the yellow glove that was left and keep the other hand in a pocket. I knew my mother's eyes had tears, but had not cried yet. I didn't want to be the one to make them flow. It was the prayer I spoke secretly, folding socks, lining up donkeys and windowsills. To be good, a promise made to the roaches who scouted my closets at night. If you don't get in my bed, I will be good. And they listened. I had a lot to fulfill. The months rolled down like towels out of a machine. I sang and drew and fattened the cat. Don't scream, don't lie, don't cheat, don't fight. You could hear it anywhere. A pebble could show you how to be smooth. Tell the truth. A field could show how to sleep without walls. A stream could remember how to drift and change. Next June, I was stirring the stream like soup, telling my brother dinner would be ready if he'd only hurry up with the bread when I saw it. A yellow glove draped on a twig. A mighty survivor. Quiet flag. Where had it been in the 3 gone months? I could wash it, fold it in my winter drawer with its sister. No one in that world would ever know. There were miracles on Harvey's Street. Children walked home in yellow light. Trees were reborn and gloves traveled far but returned. 1,000 miles later, what can a yellow glove mean in a world of bank books and stereos? Part of the difference between floating and going down. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jacki. Such an amazing recitation of Shihab's nice poem. That was amazing. I'm so grateful to all my featured presenters for sharing their time, kindness, and poetry tonight. Thank you so much. I hope that these wondrous poems stay with you always, and hope that you have enjoyed this time with us. Thank you so much, all of you, for coming again and enjoying this festive gathering with us. This joyous gathering wouldn't have been possible without the support of our terrific Belmont Parks and Rec Director. And Recreation Coordinator Karina Cortez. Both of you. And I'd now like to invite Bridget on stage to offer us a final poem and a few closing words for the evening.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you all so much for coming out this evening. It truly warms my heart. I think we all need this. We need to come together, and I'm smiling and sweating a little bit. But it's pretty incredible to be. This room is so colorful. We've all brought color with us in our garments. And the words have been particularly colorful. I have a couple of images with me. Every time I hear Monica and the other poets speak, I'm just so struck by the beautiful words and the magic of weaving these words together. So images I already have in my head are the kitchen table and the river, the giving river, right? Wow. The thin candles. And now the yellow glove. I got all these pictures in my head, right? So thank you all for that and for sharing it. So I am gonna just share a poem from my homeland. I was born in Germany and came to the States when I was 2 years old. My parents raised us to speak German as well, so I'm gonna read a German poem that I will then read in English as well. And so it is a very popular German poem. It's called, in German it would be Knecht Ruprecht, in German, in English it's Servant Rupert, and it was written by Theodor Storm. Von draußen, vom Walde komme ich her. Ich muss euch sagen, es weihnachtet sehr. Überall auf den Tannenspitzen sah ich goldene Lichtlein blitzen. Und droben aus dem Himmelstor sah mit großen Augen das Christkind vor. Und wie ich so strolch durch den finstern Tannen, da rief's mich mit heller Stimme an. Knecht Ruprecht, rief es, alter Gesell, hebe die Beine und spute dich schnell. Die Kerzen fangen zu brennen an, das Himmelstor ist aufgetan. Alt und Junge sollen nun von der Jagd des Lebens einmal ruhen. Und morgen fliege ich hinab zur Erde, denn es soll wieder Weihnachten werden. So in English, from afar, from the forest I come here, I must tell you it is truly Christmas time. Everywhere on the tops of the fir trees, I saw little golden lights were placed. And above them from the gate of heaven, I saw with wide eyes the Christ child before me. And as I wandered through the shady trees, he called out to me with a clear voice, Servant Rupert, he called, old companion, pick up your legs and hurry along. The gate of heaven has been opened. Old and young must now rest a while from the pursuits of life. And tomorrow I will fly down to earth, and then it shall truly be Christmas. And let's just change that to it will be the holidays for all of us. So thank you all so much. Round of applause, please, for Monica.
A beautiful new year in advance and have a wonderful, safe and warm holiday time with your family. Anywhere you go, please enjoy some of our refreshments. The boy will take with you. So please help yourselves and thank you again so much for that.